which were one of the rules that you couldn't break? For example, like you cannot do this with your arm.
Hey Barbie, can I come to your house tonight?
I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I hope you enjoyed the mariachi yesterday. I saw your face on videos that you were really surprised by our scream. I hope we didn't scare you though.
I loved the scream. I was like, I really want to join in, but it's not my place, but I really want to join in with this. I loved it.
You have to practice, both of you.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah, on stage in front of 20,000 people wasn't the time to try it for the first time, but when I get home.
Yeah.
It's time to rehearse the mariachi scream.
Yeah.
Amazing. You know, something I really love about this movie is that it has like specific rules. I think that your character doesn't wear any rings.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, in the aspect of physicality, which were one of the rules that you couldn't break? For example, like you cannot do this with your arm, or you cannot move your body like this. Was there like specific rules for both of you?
We kind of spoke about that all early on and decided that the novelty of trying to do the doll-like movements too much would be probably funny for a few minutes, but you don't want to spend a whole film with that kind of restrictive movement. And I think the main thing that I stuck to, and I don't know about you, but was to be so certain with everything. Like, and Greta was very much loved the idea that everyone in Barbie Land is so purposeful, and the way a dancer always, like if they're in the background of a theatrical thing, and they're still like, even if they're like shopping for groceries, they're still like, I'm here shopping. You know, she wanted everyone to feel like that in Barbie Land. So I think the only rule I was really sticking to is that before Barbie starts having her existential crisis, she doesn't hesitate before she speaks. She doesn't question anything once she says it. There is no uncertainty in her life until she starts having thoughts of death. So the physicality also had like a purposefulness to it, and like a certainty to it, and very much like leading like this, not kind of like shrinking away the way like sometimes we do in life. I feel like it's a very human-like thing to kind of like shrink away, or like kind of like turn aside, or like cover yourself in some way. But in Barbie Land, they never do that.
America, thank you so much for being here. I really love that you represent the real woman on the Barbie Land scenario, because you have also represented specifically Latino women on the real world, like with your book and with the groups that you are in as well. How do you feel about portraying this important character? I mean, like being the human, how does it feel for you?
It feels amazing, and I'm just so grateful to Greta that she, you know, wrote in an opportunity for a Latina actress to not represent, you know, all the stereotypes of Latinos. It wasn't like, well, we need an undocumented person, so make her Latina. Or, you know, she needs to be like a maid or a housekeeper or a nanny, so make her Latina. It was like none of those stereotypes. It was writing in a character who was just meant to represent like a grown woman's experience of the real world. And she chose to make her Latina. And I was so moved by that. And so moved that we get to have a Latina character who's a part of the fun, who's a part of this bright, vibrant, very culturally influential world. To get to be the character that represents us as Latinas, that represents, somebody said to me last night, you know, what does it feel like to represent the whole human race in this movie? So, you know, Gloria's holding it down for the whole human race. It's really has been a wonderful joy.
What do you think that makes Barbie Barbie, and how did you work along with Greta? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna wear them now so they don't fall apart. How did you work along with Greta to create like a new character to appeal to new generations, but at the same time keep the essence of this legacy?
Yeah, at the beginning, like I said, she has this purpose, like this certainty about everything. She's not intelligent. She is very smart. She just hasn't been exposed to a lot of concepts that we as humans have been exposed to. Shame and cynicism, things like that is not things she has any concept of. Being self-conscious is not something she has a concept of until she gets to the real world. So we had a lot of discussions about that, and I think the main thing that we discussed, Greta and I, that unlocked it was because I didn't want her to come across as being vapid or unintelligent, but like I said, she's naive in some ways until she's gone to the real world. And Greta found this amazing podcast where this woman who doesn't introspect, you know the voice you have in your head that's constantly, mine at least,
playing on the background.
Constantly narrating everything that's happening or going to happen or probably never going to happen. Some people don't have that voice. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And this woman is very smart. She has a PhD, she went to Stanford, whatever, but she doesn't introspect. And listening to this podcast actually really helped me unlock. I was like, oh, okay, that's how we can play the Barbie character. Yeah, I mean, there was lots of things like that. That's just one example. But Greta's always the best person to point you in the direction of something interesting like that.
I mean, Greta brings her joy and her love of the process, and that's infectious. She's, incredibly capable of handling the massive weight of holding and creating a film like this. And even in the midst of that, like, bringing joy moment to moment, remembering that we're all there to like tell a story and do the thing that at one point in our lives we could only dream of getting to do. And it like reconnected you to that, to get to play and bring your childlike love and passion of playing and telling stories, but with people at the top of their game, with like the highest level of craftsmanship that you could imagine.
Which of you was the most curious on the set of Barbie Land? Like, you couldn't stop checking out, like the production design and picking up or trying to picking up props. Which one of you was the most curious?
Well, Margot created it, so you were probably less so because you knew every nook and cranny and detail and signed the checks for it. But I was new to it, and also even as a Ken, you're not allowed into the structures at all. So I think I very much, every time I was allowed in, was very curious about the details.
But everyone was. I mean, we had crew members from other sets coming over to look at our set. It was something that everyone was getting a kick out of, for sure. And there was something to look at in every corner of the soundstage. It was incredible.
And actually, in the real world, we also have the character that's like Mattel.
Yes.
And played by Will Ferrell.
Yes.
And I read that in the real life, that Margot was really surprised that Mattel approved the script that Greta and Noah wrote. For you, when you were reading the script, what is something that you said like, whoa, I don't know if they're gonna really let us do this?
Oh my God, 100 things. Like, I had the same feeling of like, are they really gonna let her make this? I think that there were a lot of things, like jokes here and there, and so much of the intellect and the wit, and also the like making fun of Mattel and letting Mattel be a character in the movie, and Mattel kind of taking that very, lightly and allowing themselves to be poked fun at. But I think ultimately, like, I just felt so excited and happy that the story was digging into what Barbie says about us as human beings, and that's the route that Greta and Noah chose to take, versus like making a movie that was, about a plastic doll in a perfect world. It's really humanized by the story that they wrote.
Ryan, how would you describe Kenergy? What does Kenergy means?
It's very hard to describe. It's more of a feeling than anything. It's a positive thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. Kenergy's a great thing.
Yeah.
Did you see this video recently? I can't think of his name.
I was gonna say.
An NFL player in America.
And his wife is a runner.
And she's a runner, and she's like doing the 400.
Yes.
And the way he is like screaming for her, like.
Yes. It's
that
pure
is
Kenergy.
That is pure Kenergy.
We should find that.
We should find that and put it up. It's so good.
I'm gonna put it on this video so people
Yes.
know. Thank you so much. It's great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. Welcome to Mexico, and hope you come again.
Thank you so much.
Humans only have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.